and why do we use it? This is an example of a very simple Karnaugh map, and this is an example of a circuit which is very complicated. It's got a very complicated expression, A and B, or A and not B. This circuit, you could get rid of basically all the different logic gates in there, and it could be simplified to just A. So you imagine you were making some electronics or something and you wanted to simplify the circuits and reduce the number of transistors and things. Well, you could use Karnaugh Maps as one solution to simplifying the circuit. So yeah, so what basically the purpose of them is to simplify Boolean expressions or logical operations, and minimize the number of logical operations in digital circuits, and provide more intuitive and visual method to compare algebraic techniques. There are some rules to how you make a Karnaugh map. So you can see here that basically what I've done is I put the inputs A and the inputs B here, and then I put both of their states. So they're either off, 0, or they're on, 1. Off, B is off here, or when something is off, it's called not B. When something is, when A is not on, it's called not A. So you've got not A here, not B here, and you've got B here and A here. So you put all the possible combinations of them like that. To then work out what the expression means, we have to follow a certain set of rules. We have to draw we have to basically take this expression and put a 1 in the boxes where this expression is true. So if we put a 1 here, then we have not B and A. So we've got not B and A, which is one side of it, right? And then the other side of it is A and B. So where is A and B true? A and B is true here. And then these are not part of our expression, so we don't put a 1 in them, we put a 0 in them. The rules of Karnaugh maps are that boxes can be 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. So they can be a power of 2. They can either be drawn down or across, but not diagonal, as you'll see later on when I show you some more examples. So we could have, what they've done here is we could have 2 separate boxes, which is what this is. We could have A and B, which would be that box. And then we could join that with this other one, with this other box here, where the other one is, which is A and not B. But what we want to do when we create a Karnaugh map is, which I say, just say a little bit later on in this article, which is linked below, is you want to make the boxes that you when you group them together as large as possible, right? As long as they've got 1, 2, 4, 8, whatever number of cells in them. You want to make them as large as possible. So if we make this box as large as possible and we combine the terms, then we end up with just A. And how do we do that? Well, what you need to do is you need to follow the other rule. When the output changes, you drop that letter. So, for example, here in this column, the A, which is on, stays the same as you go from this box to this box, but the B changes. It goes from not B to B. So because they change, we drop the B, but we keep A, and so the expression simplifies to A. So that's a very, very simple example. You're more likely, as you'll see in the past papers, the questions at the end of the article, which is I've got lots of different practice questions that I've kind of created myself, and then I've got some actual past paper questions with the mark schema answers at the end. You're more likely to get more complicated Karnaugh maps like this. So this is when it's very important to know your rules and make sure that you choose the biggest box and it's the right, shape and everything. So yeah, so one thing they could ask you in the exam is they will give you a Karnaugh map like this, and they will say derive what the logical expression is from this, right? So you need to make sure that you follow these rules, right? So identify the groups. Look for the groups of ones that can be made into rectangles, right? So it can contain 1, 2, 4, 8, etc. It must be a power of 2. Remember that the boxes can also wrap around. So think of it like a cylinder, a Karnaugh map. It's kind of like, even though it's flat, you could sort of curve it around. So they could sort of, so if you had like a load of ones here and a load of ones down here, you could join them into one box that sort of connected on both sides, as you'll see in some of the examples later on. Make the boxes or the groups as large as possible. So for example, here, you could have like 4 boxes of 2s, yeah? But that would leave us with lots of Boolean expressions, and it wouldn't allow us to simplify it as easily, as much as we possibly could. So, for example, the box we would choose here is that big box here with the 8 ones in, and then I'd choose a box here with the 2 ones in, or you could just have like one, just that one there. So yeah, and then what you need to do is you need to write down the expression for each group. So we'll come on to that in a minute when we look at this example. And then you need to combine the expressions. So if we've got 2 boxes, so basically how I'd box this one up would be to make it look like this. So I'd group these ones here and these ones here. So I've got 2 boxes, and you want to combine the expressions. When the terms are within the same box, you use the AND operation. And when they are within boxes, so 2 boxes like this box and this box, you use the OR operation. I think it's really not as complicated as it might sound to you, but it's very simple when you get the hang of it, right? So how can we work out what this is in the Boolean expression? Okay, so we need to remember that rule. Once we've got the boxes of the right sizes and dimensions, we need to remember that we've got to drop any of the terms that change. So any of these variables that change as we go across the columns here, we need to get rid of out of our term. So for example, A and B change. They go from 0 to 1 to 1 to 0. So we can drop A and B. So this box will not have A and B in it. So the only other things we've then got to do is look in the rows. So we look at the rows C, D. Now C and D, the only expression here that stays the same is D, so 1. But we drop C because it's not C here and C here. So this whole box here simplifies to just D. This column here will simplify to not A and B. But when we go down the rows here, we can see that the D changes. So it goes from 1 to a 0 here. So we have not A and B and C, because C is the only one that changes as we go along the rows. It stays as a 1. It's a 1 here and it's a 1 here. So therefore, this smaller box here is not A and B and C. So this whole expression becomes this. B, so as I said, B and not A. So not A is because A is a 0 here. B and not A, and C, or the other bigger box, D. And so that is what you would be expected to answer if you wrote about this in an exam. You would be expected to be able to look at that and draw the boxes where they're meant to be of the right size and shape, and then apply that rule of dropping the terms or the inputs, the A and the B, the C or the D, dropping them where they change within those boxes. So there are some other examples down here as well, which I want you to have a go at. If you get the hang of it very quickly and don't need to do them all, that's fine. All the answers for these are at the end. So here's the answers to practice